First one's from Jason Turpin. Hey guys, Kevin Nash shared a story in his podcast about leasing his condo to Disco. According to Nash, he started to receive HOA complaints when Disco began using the condo to host high-stakes poker games. Supposedly, Disco would have to bribe the building's doorman to get the large crowd inside. Can you tell the story and how these poker games got started and share some of the big names that would play? Nash mentioned that many of the Braves players would be there. Disco, did you ever meet John Rocker? Seems like you guys would agree on quite a bit. Thanks, that's from Jason Turpin. Everybody knew Rocker because Rocker lived for the. So my connection to the Atlanta Braves, all right, was one of my old roommates owned a car detail shop up in like in Roswell, okay, and it was a nice area, and a lot of the Braves like lived in the area, so a lot of the Braves would come into the car detail shop and get the cars detailed, like Tom Glavine, Rocker, Brad Klontz, Chipper Joe, like these guys would come. So, and we all became friends and friendly with each other. And like a lot of us would go out, like Brad Klontz, Rocker would go out, like we'd go out to the clubs and stuff. So like they lived in our neighborhood and we got to know all those people, like all had mutual acquaintances. So back during the big poker boom, like when the World Series of Poker was on TV and it was like kicking it, everybody started playing poker. So this is around like 2004, 2005, right? And like, so everybody started having poker games. And our poker game started out as we would have people come over on Monday and watch Monday Night Football and play poker on Monday Night Football. Then it just accelerated after that. Like you'd have games and stuff and things, and then it'd be at the point where like there'd be 15, 20 cars, come to a neighborhood to park for the poker games, right? So we'd have to you'd always try to find like another place to have the games. And Kevin had his condo that he wasn't living in Atlanta, like right in the heart of Buckhead. And we would have a game on Friday night, like down in the heart, and people would come over, play poker. We'd have we'd have open bar, we'd cook food. It was just like a social atmosphere. People come there before they went out. They come play poker, go out in Buckhead and stuff. And we basically just had to play poker on Friday nights. And it was a pretty cool game because we had like I had like attractive girls like serving drinks, and helping cook with us and everything. It was just a fun social atmosphere, and yeah, but tons of people were doing poker. And then eventually, I've told the story repeatedly. We had a game at my house that got busted by the cops, and it was complete misinformation that they thought that our poker game was a $10,000 buy-in, like high-stakes game where there'd be like hundreds of thousands of dollars there.
Yeah.
The reality was it was a $500 buy-in cash game, which is was basic stakes for back then, stuff in the LA. So guys, some guys would have like $1,000 in their pocket and stuff, but they thought that it was like this super high-stakes game, and it wasn't. So eventually everybody got like disturbing the peace. I don't know. It was just
I think there's a second email on the same subject, Ti. So do you want to listen to Kev's take, or you want to hear it later?
Well, you can play Kevin's take.
It's a couple minutes, really, not much.
No, he actually leased my loft, and he had the poker games in my loft. You ever heard that story?
Oh,
fuck. So I leased him my place, and he's got like all the like. I get like a complaint from the homeowners association, and right across, like I'm on the 8th floor, and I'm looking at Lenox, the Lenox skyline. But right below me is a church. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. You'd have the games on Saturday night. And I mean, it's like Maddox and small, like all the Braves are playing in these games, like high dollars. And Glenn's got waitresses, and they're running a full out casino in my place because there's a concierge. So there's a key swab to get into the building. There's one to get into the elevator. By that time, he's greasing the concierge. They're in on it. Yeah, he had a full-fledged game going on in my loft.
That's not the location where there perhaps might have been an arrest in one?
No, he moved.
Okay.
No, they didn't give it without the protection of the Matheson Lofts. He was.
Yeah, that's enough.
Subject.
So, Maddox and Smoltz never played my game. But they were the Braves. Some of the Braves would play and stuff like But
so when you were playing with Rocker, was he making all those comments that
no,
he was making
Rock,
in the news?
No. Rocker never was like, bro. I like Rocker would go out of this. I was with Rocker when he met and met the black girl that he ended up dating for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was all.
It's pretty racist to be dating a black girl.
You gotta understand this. He grew up in Macon, Georgia.
Right.
If you know, like Macon, Georgia, like it's funny too, because there was a period of time. Me and him and another guy went to Jacksonville to the Super Bowl. We all drove down there together, right? And we stopped at his mom's house. I met John Rocker's mom. You know the first thing she said? She goes, "I just want you to know that I did not raise my boy like that." But he but he was all like I don't want to say it was like all for show, but he was like one of those like bombastic like right wing.
It got him kicked out of the league, bro. Which kind of
that's what I was saying. But
because I remember when because the media went after him. Like if there was a cancel culture back then, they canceled. Because I remember him. He hated New York. He was like, oh, they throw quarters at you. Well, obviously, I haven't been to Philadelphia or Boston then. Yeah. And then he was like, I'm in the train and I got one guy that looks like he's been in jail, another guy with purple hair, another.
I got it. I got the quote here if you want to hear it.
Because literally he said, with AIDS.
Right. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, well, dude, you could see that in Atlanta too.
No. You got to understand. This is early 2000s.
1999.
Right. This is like So this is back when, there was you still heard every now and then, and they're down south, everything. But this was the period of time when people kind of media started becoming a big deal. Like people started getting offended about things. And they used to get amplified, and the news would talk about it more. And like I said, John Rocker, he did an interview and it just blew him up. He said some stupid,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So,
and I remember he was like, you go to New York and you hear Koreans and Vietnamese and all nobody speaks English.
Here was the funniest thing: he actually had this deal. He was selling shirts, bro. All of it. The funniest thing about it, there were so many of us that knew Rocker. Like he was like part of the social circle, right?
Right.
Of this just diverse group of people. Like you would have just imagined like how many people knew John Rocker, right? But it was funny. He started doing this thing where he was selling shirts that said "Speak English." like a line of clothes, speak English, and everything. So, like in retrospect, you look at him and he kind of like back then we would kind of like laugh at it, but like then when it got blown up, it's like
it didn't age well. Yeah.
Right, you could perfect example. Did not age well. Yeah, exactly. But back then, like you got to
for a while, bro, he was lights out, dude.
Oh, I know. And then plus two, like he was the toast of the town for a while.
Yeah, like
he'd go out in the clubs and stuff, and like and stuff until that. Then he got the scarlet letter on his head, and then he kind of but
they made him go like the sensitivity training, but
exactly, yeah,
bro. And here's another thing, as well as I do. You do not talk bad about Hank Aaron. What was the mayor's name? Andrew Jackson. What was his name?
Right. Yeah, Mayor Andrew Jackson. Yeah.
You don't talk bad about them, and he did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. He says, like I said, he said a lot of stupid back in the day, but he was a public figure, and it was like it wasn't. It's kind of.
I actually saw him on Survivor. Did you see him when he was on Survivor? Because I knew. But
let me tell you, like if you met Rocker, okay, and you like hung out with him, like he's a funny guy.
Yeah, you know him better than I do, so I believe.
Well, I'm just saying, like none of that would ever really come up in conversation with the guy.
Right.
Like all that stuff was stuff he said.
Yeah, like you said, he was being bombastic and a provocateur. Yeah.
Like he's in a circle talking about to all his friends, like that's not how he was. So.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Di, since you knew Rocker.
I will tell you a funny story.
And your friends with Vince.
Quick, story. So we went to we were down for the Super Bowl in Jacksonville. And we were down there, and he had tickets, or like we were going to go meet to go to the Leonard Skinner concert before the Maxim party, right? the Maxim party was like this huge party.
Yeah, I remember those.
So, who's the guy?
Those were the parties of that time.
Yeah, they were the party. So we go to Leonard Skinner before the party.
Right.
And so it's Leonard Skinner, 3 doors down, and Charlie Daniels is playing in this concert. So remember Charlie Daniels, man, the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Three doors down.
Long hair country boy.
They were the hot young, like country rock band, back at the time in Leonard Skinner. So Leonard Skinner played. They were unbelievable, bro. This excuse me. This place was sold out. And they just rocked, man. They were older and stuff. Now, I had known them because they used to come backstage at WCW sometimes. Remember that? Leonard Skinner went.
And they went to Sturgis. I took a picture with them at Sturgis.
So I went backstage, and they're like, oh, hey, so they remembered me, right? So we're hanging out with them. But this was the funniest thing. Rocker met Charlie Daniels, super redneck.
Right.
Hey, nice to meet you. John Rocker, I'm a big fan of yours. To Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels goes, I'm a big fan of yours too.
Of course.
But so so it was us, Leonard Skinner was there, and the 3 doors down guys were there, right? And we were backstage, like in their dressing room, and we were with 3 doors down. Okay. Mm-hmm. And dude, I was sitting there with these guys telling them like Ultimate Warrior stories. And they were just like, they were so like I was just telling them all wrestling stories, and they were like just marking out for all these wrestling stories. We spent so much time and had so much fun just shooting with these guys. We missed the Maxim party. How hysterical is that? So
that's
bro.
Funny
people that are fans, they love wrestling stories. Like I've seen Joe Rogan, like when DDP or Flair was on there, or he's like, he's like he can't believe these stories.
Right? Yeah, they loved wrestling stories because they were fans. The wrestling. Yeah. So, but that was cool. They were cool guys. I bet it was like really, that was fun. That was actually a fun night, even though we didn't go to the Maxim party. So
it's funny because even though obviously I'm just a podcaster, but I'm on the outskirts of wrestling, you could say, and I get that even. Like, right. you were at the Jericho concert. Is he cool? Now tell me, what is he? He likes drinking, right? What does he drink? And everyone always wants to hear about wrestlers and wrestler stories. But I wanted to ask you, Di, because you knew Rocker and you're still friends with Russo. Right. Didn't Russo want to bring him in for an angle? And was that ever serious? Because that was reported a million times.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to understand.
He would always curse him out in his in-ring promos, like without Rocker being aware, probably. But he'd come in and be like, "Yeah, John Rocker, I want you in New York, and I'll be in front of New York and all that." Yeah.
All right.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.